This new Acadia AT4 is massive and it's also off-road capable. I'll include a link to the Jerry Seiner GMC's website in the description down below. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed. Fuel economy is 20 around town, 23 on the highway, with power outputs being 328 horsepower and then 326 pound-feet of torque. I'm trying to hit 500,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I'd really appreciate it if you'd help out with that. This boxy design kind of reminds me of the Sierra truck. C-shaped lights down below, and then you've got a darker coloration for the grille with the AT4 logo. We also have red recovery points to signify it's an AT4, and you got fog lights. Altogether, it's got quite a bit of front-end equipment, and it's a good-looking SUV. Tire and wheel setup is 265 by 65 by 18. All-terrain tires, you got silver there on the top with the metallic gray, satin gray in the center. Pretty chunky-looking fender flares, AT4 badge on the side. We also have the blacked-out mirror caps and the nice body-painted door handles. And this is where you can see the size. This thing is pretty darn large. When it comes to key fob features, we have our lock and unlock function, remote start, the opening for the rear hatch, GMC logo on the back. The rear seats are manual with their fold up and down function. Space in the back overall is great, especially behind the third row. It's actually usable. You fold down the third row and you got tons of space. Got this nice C-shaped arc here with the tail lights, of course AT4 badge, and then you have one exhaust tip per cylinder. That will cap things off for the exterior. Keyless entry for all the doors, which is nice. Fancy pants trim piece there on the door panel, and you got some rugged trim kind of mixed in with some brown stitching too. The seats continue that theme. You've got brown stitching and piping. They're perforated down the center. The adjustments are nicely labeled. Good legroom here in the back. We also have a little storage pocket. We've got some cup holders. We have our own climate zone in the rear with automatic function. And I just noticed there's little cloth inserts on the seats too. The third row seats also have nice trim, and you can comfortably fit adults in the third row. You also get vents there up top to keep them warm or cool. Keyless entry for up front, and let's check it out. Blind spot monitoring with the mirrors, and then down below we do have an automatic window for the driver, and there's kind of some more cool stitching here on the front driver door panel. AT4 there on the headrest, and then again perforated all down the center. Power adjustments on the side with lumbar support. The passenger seat's also power adjustable with lumbar support. Auto stop start, you've got your all-wheel drive select, so you can choose between two-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, and then you have your drive mode select in that area left of the steering wheel too. Let's fire the Acadia up. Soft touch trim all around the steering wheel. You got little paddles on the back. There's also practical controls for your heated steering wheel, voice command controls for the center screen. On the left side, you've got your cruise control. This does come with a column shifter to free up space, and then we have a digital gauge cluster. Now there is a plastic covering that creates some glare, but still the blacked out screens always kind of have some glare on them. But yeah, it's pretty quick to respond between the different pages, and it's nice that you can change what the display actually displays. This does come equipped with a 360 camera system, a bunch of different angles, which is great for such a big SUV. The infotainment system itself is large and in charge, I guess. We've got some physical buttons at the bottom for the climate to change like the fan speed and the temperature, little volume knob. But a lot of stuff's built into the screen. That's kind of what GM is doing nowadays. And yes, we've got off-road stuff with this because it's an AT4. It's cool. You can see the tire pressure, pitch and roll. Even our elevation is available. But yeah, quick to respond. Everything's pretty user-friendly. Right, this phone charging pad below all of that, some cup holders, lots of storage space. There's more underneath here as well in terms of storage. It's kind of like a big open space. Again, no shifter, frees up space. Kind of a funky design on the dash, how it kind of cuts up there. Anyways, camera, rear view mirror, and then no center for this one. 2026 Acadia AT4 and $54,690. Let's see how this performs. Well, let us set off in the Acadia AT4. I'm actually in two-wheel drive driving through. It's actually pretty rutted out, so like, you know, I don't think this dirt lot has ever been graded, or maybe it was graded a very long time ago. Lots of bumps, and you know, it handles it pretty well. It is unibody and independent suspension, so you're gonna have a bit of movement, but you know, all things considered, it's pretty darn good. Pretty darn good over all the bumps. Now I read your comments, and you know, I'm reviewing the 26 Acadias and Traverses right now because they're showing up on dealer lots, and everyone's saying they like the car but they don't like the engine. And you know what, I agree with you guys. Like, this 4-cylinder has got torque. It's smooth, it feels adequate. Doesn't feel powerful. Feels adequate. So I do think that GM, if you're watching this, Caddy's got some V6s, some fun V6s. Throw something else under the hood. And you know, one of the problems with these modern cars is the cars were built with like the intention of only having a smaller engine in it. Like, I've had people tell me they can't even fit the 2.7 4-cylinder on this. I think that's a shame. I think that like an automaker should always be like, hey, just in case, maybe people won't like this. You know what I mean? But no, it's like they're like, yep, 4-cylinder, that's what we're doing. And again, the performance is good. I think people are being a little bit too harsh on it, but also like I said, I agree. Now the suspension in this car, like I said, it's comfortable. Tires aren't too noisy. Thing to understand, a lot of these crossovers with all-terrain tires are not really going to be that much less fuel efficient or really be that much louder than their street tired counterparts, because you're not really, they don't really put like that big of, it's not that big of a tire, and it's not that aggressive. It's a very soft all-terrain tire. So, and that is going to affect obviously off-road capability. And it's like, if you want more off-road capability, you're probably going to want to go a little bit bigger and just a little bit more aggressive. But this is kind of like a nice baseline for a factory package. Thing is, automakers typically, outside of, you know, some exceptions, are just not known for putting great tires in their cars from the factory. Ford and Jeep kind of buck that trend a bit. But for the most part, everyone else usually does pretty soft, pretty weak tires, because they're like, yep, if you want a better tire, go buy it yourself. Which, you know, that's not that bad, because tires are cheaper than switching out other things, like an engine. That'd be expensive to have to switch that out. So, getting into summing things up, this thing's huge. I don't think people realize how big the new Acadia and the Traverse are. They made these about the same size as the previous gen Tahoe, so that's why you have so much space behind the third row. That's why you have a spacious cabin. And I think it's a great thing for people that are looking for just a people mover, a spacious vehicle. And again, outside of the powertrain feeling like just like it's barely adequate, this thing drives pretty well. It's got good torque. It is quiet. And I wonder if they do on the AT4, if they do the thicker glass. Yeah, they got the double pane glass on this, it feels like. So just like the Denali, it seems like it's a little bit more insulated, which is good for the Lux experience. Let me know what you guys think about the Acadia AT4. Is this real off-roader, and should Chevy add a V6? We already know the answer. Yes, Chevy add a V6.